Hello and welcome to Stitched from My Stash. My name is Julie and I'm coming to you from just north of Glasgow in the UK, and my vlog is about sewing, knitting, patchwork and quilting and crochet. Thank you so much for joining me. It's good to have your company, your comments, your subscriptions, your likes. And today I feel good to be here. And I'm going to talk a little bit about my postings. Up to now, I've been posting weekly or trying to post weekly, but I think I'm going to switch to fortnightly because I don't think I'm getting many makes done at the moment. A variety of reasons. Firstly, I've joined the local sports centre, which is fab. I wish I had joined months ago. So anybody who's considering joining their local sports centre, I'd say go for it. It's been a real revelation for me. The staff are so friendly. I've been going to yoga, easy exercise. I've been to the gym on the treadmill, and I had an induction last week on the other machines like the rower machine, etc. So I'm spending some time down there. It's not far, but it is a little car journey. So I'm finding I'm not spending as much time doing my makes. The other thing is we are supposed to be renovating this house. We've had bits and bobs of building work done the year and a half since we've been here. But at the moment, we're trying to decorate the dining room. And you may hear in the distance the sander machine. Andrew hired over the weekend one of those really heavy duty sander machines to sand. It's a parquet oak floor, so it should come up really nice, but he's having a bit of trouble with it. So there's trouble removing some of the wax. So this morning he's doing hand sanding with a hand sand belter, so you might hear that. And I just think I feel a little overwhelmed by the things I think I have to do. And I'm a little bit then like rabbit in the headlights, and I don't get anything done. I think it's also, I'm still sort of getting used to being here. We've been here a year and a half and we love it. I love it. We're near family, our granddaughter, etc. My son, his partner. Well, closer, I should say, because we're not on the doorstep. So I feel if I go to fortnightly postings, I can feel more in control and hopefully get my makes done over the fortnight. I know that's a bit of chit chat at the start of the vlog, but I think I wanted to say about the fortnightly postings before people turn off. I know people don't watch generally for the whole thing, so rather than saying at the end I'm going fortnightly, I'm saying at the beginning. So I don't think I'll do one on Monday, this Monday coming, and after that Monday I'll then go fortnightly. I may do a little bit of chit chat as well as we go along. I don't think I've got a lot of makes to show, but I wanted to get a post done today, otherwise it's not going to be done. And I enjoy doing it, enjoy talking to you, and it is a little bit of a haven space for me. Not that my life is stressful. I create my own stress. I know that. But it is a positive space for me where I can talk about nice things that are happening. nasty things aren't happening. As I said, it's just in my head, I feel a bit overwhelmed. So let's crack on with some sewing chat. First of all, what I'm wearing. This is a lined dress that I made, I should say, 10 years ago. So I don't have a record in my sewing book. And I did ponder over 3 different patterns in my pattern collection, thinking, which pattern is it? But I've decided it's this one. And it's the sleeveless version. And it's lined. Now, what threw me off, I can't really see the lining element on the back, but it must be this one, because the other versions I've looked at in my sewing, in my pattern stash, the darts are different. These darts are just down the front here. I will add a photo either side, not sure which side, of the full view of the dress. It is quite short, and I think this fabric does shrink. Now, the fabric came from my late mother's stash, and I'm not sure what it is. I think it is a natural fibre. I'm not sure if it's viscose is a natural fibre, isn't it? I'm not sure if it's that, but it does shrink. And I have made a sleeveless top out of this material as well, but I don't know where it is. Where I've had a good look, I don't know where the sleeveless top is, and that's definitely shrunk. Anyway, it's also lined with fabric from my late mother's stash, which is I suppose is a proper lining material. It's I suppose a polyester slinky type thing. And it's a really comfy wear. I've worn this quite a lot, and I think there is a little bit of seam coming undone on one of the shoulders, which I must address. But I've worn this loads. It is so comfy. Not when I show a lot of these patterns, I know they're fairly old and fashions change and patterns go out of print. And as I've said before, eBay is a good place for patterns. So I'm not sure if this one is in print. I think I would have bought this one in Shrewsbury. There's a really nice fabric haberdashery knitting shop in Shrewsbury, and I would have bought this in Shrewsbury when we lived in Herefordshire near Ludlow. So I really like this. I like the pattern. I wouldn't say it's pattern matched, it's probably not, but I like the fabric. I've also made another version, which I may have to put the camera back a bit. I may take perhaps a photo of this one and add a full version of this one as well. So this one is, I've used the lining fabric, that slinky lining fabric, and covered it with this lace, again, which came from my late mother's stash. This, I'm not sure, I suppose it's a polyester type lace, but it is a nice effect. I'll show you the zip down the back and the darts at the back. And as I said, I'll try and take a whole photograph of this and add it one of the sides. I made this for a cousin's daughter's wedding, and at the time I was really pleased with it because it was one of my first forays into dressmaking. Having looked at the pattern, as I said, I can't see a fully lined version for this, but the pattern does have the lace overlay version, so it must be this pattern. But I was pleased with this, and if I can find them, I will post some photographs of me wearing it at the wedding. If I can find them, I'll show where they'll be. So that's what I'm wearing, and I suppose it's a straightforward, I'm not sure if it's a shift dress. Anyway, it's a straightforward dress pattern, as I recall, fairly straightforward to make, and I'm really pleased with particularly this version because I've worn it a lot. I did wear this again, if I find the photographs I'll add them, to our eldest son's graduation. So I wore it then, and that was a summer event. So that's what I'm wearing today. So I'll just bring you back in here. So what have I got to talk about? Excuse me while I shuffle around. So I have been working on the patchwork for I'm making a throw for our lounge, and it's sort of, the paint is called India Yellow. It's a mustard type paint. So I've been working on these 4 log cabin blocks, and they're coming on quite nicely. I may put some sashing rather than making the blocks really huge. I'll see. So there's 2 more. I've been working on 4. That's a nice one. That's more of a dark light effect. And then this is the last one. And obviously, the bigger the square goes, the longer your strips need to be. I suppose you could join the strips, but then does that defeat the object and does it not look as good? I've been enjoying making this, the time I have spent on it. As I said, my time has gone elsewhere really, but I have enjoyed it. And I did watch a really nice vlog one afternoon while I was doing this, and I haven't written the name down here, but I will put the name of the vlog at the bottom. She had some really nice ideas for different log cabin designs, so I will post that vlog. I really enjoyed it. Anything else? No, I did unpick for these, this dark brown, a little pair of trousers I'd made for our granddaughter when she was perhaps 1.5, 2, and I don't know if they weren't successful. They kept falling down. I did think of getting her braces, but I never got around to that. So I post a picture of the trousers I unpicked, and I'm glad I unpicked them because I rescued a bit of the fabric. Anything else I need to say? I do have lots more of the brown tones on my table here, so I have plenty to use. I found some more of the dark brown in a drawer. This I'm going to try and use as well, which is, I've got a hint of green in it, but I may put that in. So I do have plenty of larger pieces to extend the size of the blocks. So I've been working on that. And I've also been working on the small newborn baby hat, and I've been using double point needles, which Andrew and I made out of plastic needles which came from my late mother's stash. So I wanted a size 4mm, and I didn't have a bought pair, and I thought, oh, we can make some. So these are the homemade DPNs out of the plastic needles that came from my late mother's stash. So they've been a real success. And I think I'm about to start decreasing for the crown. I was knitting this last night on the train coming home from Glasgow, and I didn't have a tape measure in my supplies, and you're supposed to knit to 4.75 inches and then you start decreasing with the crown. And I thought, I'm not going to guesstimate. My guesstimates aren't great. So I did stop knitting, and I didn't pick it up again last night. So I'm due to reduce for the crown, decrease. And I think I'm going to put this on top because it is to go with this blanket. So I do want to use the variety of colours that's in there. So I've been working on that, and to be honest, that's it. We've had a busy weekend, and I've been going down to the sports centre. Like this week, I think I'm going down 4 days, which is great, and I really enjoy it. The people are so friendly. I've loved the yoga classes, but it does mean my day is taken up with other things. One thing I do want to talk about is the sewing bee last night, which is fab. In the UK, the sewing bee, I think it's a 12-week competition, started again last night on the TV. And I was really pleased. I started watching it and I thought, I recognise that woman, one of the contestants. And it's Kaz, who we follow each other on Instagram. And I thought, great, good for you, Kaz. To be honest, she is a super sewer. The things she puts on Instagram are marvellous. So well sewn, so stylish. I think she'll do really well. She is so clever. So I was really pleased. I haven't looked at, like, we get a list of the contestants on, I don't know, various websites or the BBC. And I haven't been on Instagram properly for ages. So it was a real surprise. And I thought, I recognise you. So fabulous. I was so pleased to see that somebody on Instagram, I suppose a lot of you all over the world, of course, there's a hashtag called #SewOver50, #SewOver50. And it's been a marvellous hashtag to bring groups of people together. I've met friends off there that I've met in real life. It's a really good hashtag. So if you don't use it and you're on Instagram, check out #SewOver50. I'll put it in the details below. So the #SewOver50 hashtag is really, I don't know how many followers there are now. There's thousands and thousands. But it's really brought people together who are interested in sewing. And watching this sewing bee last night, it is inspirational. It does make you think, get back onto your sewing machine. It's generally garment based. And it's not a problem, but one of my issues is I have lots of clothes. I don't do paid work. I've retired. So I'm finding I don't need a lot of clothes. On the other hand, some of the clothes they made last night, they're like works of art. And if you have a look at Kaz's Instagram, some of the things she makes, they're so interesting, so stylish, that I suppose this clothes as a statement or expressing your creativity. So it is really inspirational and such a positive series program. So I'm so pleased that that was back on last night. Let me know what you thought. Aren't those people clever? Oh my gosh, they are so clever. So put your comments below if you did watch Sewing Bee and if you thought it was, what you thought was good last night. I liked the blouse that was the first item with the tie at the front. I thought that was super. Such a nice make. And then it was the, what do they call it? The makeover challenge of the circle skirt into another garment. And Kaz won that bit. Hers was stunning. And then the last one was do they call it the showstopper? I can't remember. Or is that the bake-off? Anyway, it was an item that was particularly using pleats, and they were marvellous as well. So clever, the people that get on the Sewing Bee, and a good mix of contestants. So check it out if you haven't seen it. I'm sure most of you have if you like sewing. So I think I'm going to leave it there for today. Sorry if it's a little bit not what it usually is, but I just feel I don't know, I feel I've got so many things going on. They're in my head, but also we've got to get a grip with various bits and bobs around the house. Not bits and bobs, big things around the house. So I'm not going to start grumbling. What have I got to grumble about? Nice to see you. Hope you were enjoying your stitching, and see you in a fortnight now. Lots of love. Bye.